Hey everybody, Jose Blasco. We are about to get started. Please go ahead and give me a confirmation on the chat box that you hear my voice. Everything should be fine. You should be able to hear my voice, but just as a final confirmation so we can get started. Quick message. That would be nice. Just waiting for those messages, guys. Yeah, got it. Perfect. Okay, sound is good. Everything has been confirmed. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today is 19th of November 2019. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. Today we're getting together to do some intraday trading. So we're going to be doing a get-together short-term session. And the idea is to utilize the futures and the Forex markets, looking for short-term time frame setups and opportunities and execute those. Okay, so be ready to make notes, be ready to put the trades in place, be ready to follow my charts, and also to execute. If you are open to execute those trades, you can choose to use paper money, real money, larger size, smaller size, all of that, of course, you will decide that, okay? But again, the setups will be defined, and also be ready to ask questions if you have any. So you will get answers as well, okay? I'm just looking at the chat box, everybody. Nice to see you all. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Perfect. Good. So we'll have one thing left before we start, which is, of course, our financial disclaimer. So let's go for it. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand and agree that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. Here we go. That was the disclaimer, and therefore the session is now officially introduced and we are ready to go. So quick summary of something that many of you know. On the left side of the screen, we have the futures markets. Okay. Let me get this to blue, which I like it better in blue. In the middle part of the screen, we have FX majors in the 60-minute time frame and 240-minute time frame type of climates. And then on the right part of the screen, we have the minors. And because the liquidity is a little less, we start at a 4-hour time frame. Okay, with futures, I didn't say, we have 15 minutes, we have 60 minutes, and also 240 minutes. Of course, our preference would be to be active with the futures with the 15-minute time frame, but we'll be glad to execute trades, if any, using natural gas, Japanese yen, as well as lean hogs. Okay. Good, perfect. Okay, so let's begin. So we are looking, when looking at our screen here with the auto climate red screen, we are basically looking at the golden indications, golden color flashing lights. Those indications basically are there to save us time instead of looking at the charts manually and conclude if it's time to take a trade or not. Basically, these indications are saving us a little bit of time. So it seems that in the futures markets, we have a potential opportunity with the ES and also a potential opportunity with the link hogs, but it's not exactly the case, because with the ES, you can see we have a gray box, which means the climate is not confirmed. Therefore, you could ignore this row. And with the lean hogs, the climate is confirmed, is not gray, is red, meaning it's a down climate. But notice how we have the word hopeful, meaning that that market has been moving already for too long in that direction. 7 candles out of, let's call it 5, which is already kind of like about to exceed our maximum. And therefore, even though a climate could extend beyond what would be normal, the fact is that based on probabilities exceeding that, it's not normal, therefore low probability. Okay, so we're not going to be looking at the futures markets for a few minutes. We'll be waiting for other indications to may show up. And in the meantime, we'll start the session looking at the Forex markets, because we do have a sensible opportunity here, but careful, because we have the gray. So no Great British Pound at the moment. Climate is not fully confirmed yet. But with the euro, we do. With the euro, we have a confirmed climate. We have a sensible long, 3 candles out of 5. So yeah, let's begin looking at the euro using a 60-minute time frame climate and I am just bringing it to the main screen here. We have the setup I am using right now utilizes the 60-minute time frame below, the 8-minute time frame above, and the euro is being loaded, and that's it. We have it. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we don't have a proper setup. Why is that? Because the climate being good, 3 out of 5. Okay, that's nice. The average here is pointing at 110.74, and unfortunately at 110.74 we have no UFO here. Oh, no UFO in the upper part. Okay, we are lacking a UFO somewhere here, isn't it? We don't have it. And also something here, we don't have any UFO. Therefore, we have the climate, but we are lacking on those on-field orders. So we need to wait until those on-field orders show up and then execute the trade. Okay, but not yet. So what else do we have? Well, we have an opportunity that just showed up. It was not there a minute ago, which is the US dollar CAD, confirmed climate, 1 candle out of 378, sensible short. So let's go ahead and look at the US dollar Canadian dollar, also known as the loonie, name of a beautiful bird that is seen on the Canadian dollar note. And so let me confirm. So yes, we do have 1 out of 5. So climate is nicely confirmed. The average is actually 132.07. Okay, and 132.07 is actually where price is right now, and unfortunately the UFO happens to be just a little higher. Okay, and here on the range time frame as well, we'd love to have a UFO here, but it is not. Okay, so almost there, but we don't have it yet. Therefore, we will just keep waiting for those UFOs to form in the right location. We will not bend the rules. That would lead to bad results, and we are more professional than that, isn't it? So we are just gonna keep working on the process until we get a yes for everything. And talking about the process, we just got a flashing light with the Euro futures, 15-minute time frame, confirmed climate. Okay, seven candles going up. We got 4 out of 7. So let's go ahead and open the Euro futures. Okay, the current contract that we should be trading is the Z contract, the December expiration. So we're gonna be looking at that one. Okay, let me see some of the comments here. Just reading, guys. Dear, when you have time, Jose, can you please quickly over the confirm and confirm thingy, when and why? Yes, absolutely. I see price on the Euro USD. Okay, so if you see price on a green UFO on the Euro USD, it may be because we have different settings for the calibration. Okay, that may be the case. Okay, let me check very quickly just in case. Maybe it's a new UFO that just formed. Okay, yeah, I don't have any. My calibration settings are 0.618. If you have something different, then it is possible that you may have a UFO somewhere here. Okay, but not in my case with my current settings. Okay. Okay. So back to the Euro futures. Okay. So what do we have? As we said, we have a confirmed climate. It's 4. Okay. 4 out of 5. So we're good. Value for the average is 110.95.8. So we are looking at 95.8. Okay. And 95.8 is more or less here. We don't have a UFO. 95.8 is more or less here. We don't have a UFO. 95.8 is more or less around here. We don't have a UFO. Okay, so the Euro futures is also giving us a potential setup, but we do need to be patient and wait for a UFO to form in the right location. So I will leave the workspace open and we'll keep monitoring this in the following minutes. It'd be lovely to have a UFO form since, I mean, you know, if you have been around for a while, you've heard me say millions of times how much I like getting filled a little prior to the market opens. I mean, you don't need to do that, okay? But it's a nice feel, at least for me, to have price very quickly either start moving towards your target or your stop it's kind of like that very sweet time of the day where that's one of the few times where this could happen. Okay, so I like that. So I'd love to see a UFO forming here. We still have 20 minutes for the market open, and certainly in 5 minutes from now, the climate here will update for the euro, which may stay the same, but for all the other markets that at the moment are not giving us any golden flashing light, okay, so are giving us some unconfirmed climates, so then we may get to see some of that confirm. So you know what, since we have a little bit of time now, maybe this is the perfect time to answer Dirk's question when it comes to talking about confirm and unconfirmed market, okay, or sorry, I should say climate. And this brings us back to long time ago, which is before we had auto climate, isn't it? We were running a manual process looking at multiple tools, and we would conclude that there were situations where the market direction was defined, the market trend was defined, but then there was no clear impulsive moves in that particular direction, and therefore we would classify that market direction as weak. And at that time, later on, we kind of evolved the way to express that, and we said, okay, the climate is confirmed or the climate is not confirmed, meaning that if you have a directional move in a, like I just said, in a specific direction, and on top of that, you were to see impulses in the same direction as the directional move, then you would understand that directional move is strong, and therefore we ended up saying the climate is confirmed, okay? So obviously, since we know that the behavior of a trending market is to impulse and then to correct, having impulsive moves in a specific market always adds odds in your favor. Before we came up with this tool where now, you know, in like a few seconds, we can screen so many futures markets, isn't it, in one screen. Before that, we were utilizing only a few futures markets, only the S&P and the NASDAQ, and we were doing everything manually, which probably was a good learning process, but at the same time, we are way more efficient now, isn't it? So because now we have many more markets available, so one of the things that I said that I would do during the sessions is I would simply ignore the non-confirmed climates. So the climates that are gray color, I just ignore them. And the reason why I ignore them is because you don't have those impulsive moves. You have the directional move, but they don't come together with signs that reveal impulsive price action in those timeframes. Therefore, because we have many more choices now, and we can certainly go from market to market, and we don't need to push trades or force trades into a specific market. So I just said, I'm just gonna go for the confirmed climates, okay? But Dirk, going back to your question, if you wanted to trade a non-confirmed climate, okay, for example, right now the Japanese yen futures, okay, is not confirmed, but you have a sensible long. So if you wanted to trade the Japanese yen futures, it is not necessarily wrong to take this trade. The only thing is going to happen is that your probability to reach a further away target is less, because again at this moment in time we are lacking on that evidence of having impulses in the same direction as the main directional move, and therefore you have less probabilities to basically travel far. Having said all of that, it is not a crazy trade to be taken. As long as your UFOs are in the right place, as long as the UFOs are not too large, you are still likely going to reach your safety target 1-to-1. And then, if the market does begin impulsing, then congratulations. And if it doesn't, worst case is a break-even trade. So it will not be a crazy thing for you to execute those trades, okay? Even though I said that during the session, I will pass on them since we have more choices. So I'll go for the best, okay? The other comment that we made at some point in the past when we talked about all of this was also the fact that when trading non-confirmed climates, an optional rule that you may want to consider for yourself was to okay, I'm reading your comment, Dirk. I'm coming to you right now. Was to utilize half of the position size. Or let's call it 2/3 of the position size instead of the whole size. And again, it's because of the probabilities, okay? You have less probabilities, so let's go with less size, okay? But anyway, so that's what we got with the yen, okay? Which we can see the unconfirmed climate happens to be a smaller dot, okay? And again, since we have many more markets, so no need to force it. Okay. Now coming back to you, you are saying that you are using the same settings as me. So then what may be the case then is that I am using the data feed from FXCM. You may be using Oanda or another data feed. So I'll try to see what happens if I go for Euro Forex and I use Oanda. Maybe with that particular one, no UFO either. So maybe you're using a different one. Okay, it could be that you're using a different one with the eyes, maybe. No. So yeah, I'm not sure what the problem would be, because really the algo is the only difference that could happen if the settings are the same. It's the market data, right? Because the computer does what it has to do. So I could not see any reason why we don't have the same. So it has to do market data, or maybe my browser needs to be closed and reopened, or yours, or some things going on somewhere in the cache folder of the browser. Okay. But anyway, so let's continue. Okay, let's continue. I've seen the Nasdaq futures flashing as well. Flashing. We just got an update 1 minute ago. It's 9:16. So New York time. So let's go ahead and open the Nasdaq futures workspace. The Nasdaq futures also is currently trading the December contract, which is the letter Z. So we will be looking into that. So the UFO is gone now. Okay. Maybe because I'm in Asia and everything happens sooner here in the world. Maybe mine was gone before that. Not sure. Very bad joke. Anyway, so just waiting here for the Nasdaq futures to be loaded, and we'll be ready to begin planning this trade and see if there is an opportunity. So it seems that the Nasdaq was changing climate to be an up climate based on the radar screen. Okay. Very slow for my market data to be loaded. Not sure why is it taking such a long time. Okay, I'll look at the Euro futures in the meantime. So the Euro futures in the meantime is still an okay climate. Okay, 5 out of 5. 110.97. Oh, here we go. It seems that we do have an opportunity with new UFOs that have formed on the Euro futures. So you know what? Let's go ahead and look at the Euro futures and plan a trade here. And later I'll go check on the Nasdaq. Okay. I will also close the yen because the yen was not confirmed. So I will close this one. Okay, so I'm just going to run our flowchart process, correct? So the first step of our flowchart process is to check the climate. Okay, that's the first step. Second, we go for the target on the same time frame. So climate, we just said it, 5 out of 5. It's a valid climate for us to plan a trade with it. Second, let's look for the target. So I will activate AutoUFOs. Okay, and we can see here, okay, that in the case of the euro, I'm gonna click and hold. The target for the euro contract futures should be 111.06. 111.60, that would be the bottom part of that UFO, and therefore that would be our target for a potential long on the euro, which is 6 ticks. Okay, it's not a lot of potential for movement, but as long as our UFOs are small enough, then we'll be okay. Now we have a lot of overlapping. So the top here is 96.5. Let me look at that again. 110.98. Sorry. So 98 is the top. For this one, the top is also 98, right? Yes. For that one, the top is looking 97.5. Yes. So 98 would be the entry price. And then the bottom price is going to be 94, isn't it? Okay. So if I get in at 98 long. Okay, I'm going long with 2 contracts here. So if I get in long with 2 contracts, okay, and my stop is going to be below 94, which is going to be 93.5, okay, then my safety target should be 92.5, and my final target I say was going to be 111.06. Okay, so it's not an amazing trade from a point of view of the amount of profits we're going to make, okay, but it's certainly a trade that is meeting our rules, and therefore the order is in the system and we are ready to execute. Notice as well how the euro is coming down. We are actually 1 tick away. Actually it's 2 ticks technically speaking, even though thinking forex it would be 2 pips, thinking futures in the case of the euro contract it would be 2 ticks technically speaking. So we are about to get there. We just need a little extra push to the downside and we'll begin filling our orders. Okay, so that's it, we're in. Okay, so we're in the trade. Okay, we have the average 96.8. Yeah, perfect. The average is overlapping very nicely our UFO. So we are in the trade. Okay, and you guys please go ahead, and if you are in this trade with me, I'd love to know. You don't have to be, as you know, but if you were to be, it's a little bit more of the teamwork, and I would certainly like to know. Yeah, Sonny, the UFOs will form whenever the app identifies on-field orders in the market, which could be any time, especially the time frames in the middle on the right, as you can see. The time frames in the middle on the right are based on shares and based on ticks, which is not based on time. Okay, so anytime you could have UFOs that begin forming on those time frames. Okay, and you just need to be present and ready to execute, which is the life of an intraday trader, which normally we are quite active. Okay. Jose, is AutoClimate available for TradingView? Yes, absolutely, Maca. You can look at our website, tradewithufo.com/join, and you will see your option there to request your activation. Okay. Yeah, field, very good, very nice, perfect. Okay, so we're in the trade, and again, you know what I'm thinking, isn't it? We just got filled a little before the market opens, okay, which is something that you know I love. So now let's see what happens, okay? And while we are looking at let's see what happens, okay, I'm gonna look at the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq was also indicating a potential setup, one blue dot into the new climate that could be of 5.76. Average it's 8366.84, so 66 it's more or less here, and we do have a UFO, okay? But again, I would not want to waste my time. When you look at the depth of this UFO, okay, coming down all the way to 65, which then overlaps all the way to 57. So that's already like from 68 to 57. It's already like what, 11 points. So basically that's gonna be very, 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 very wide entry area. And the problem of a very wide entry area is that your safety target is going to be very, very far, and therefore it is less of a safety target. Okay, so yeah, so then not happy about that. Okay, but so we'll be monitoring potential new UFOs to form. That would may be more convenient, but for now I will not look at this trade. Now you may have noticed I just zoom in the 2-minute time frame for the euro contract. Okay, and why is that? Well, because I am as we speak now in trade management mode, and being in trade management mode, okay, I am looking at everything including the time stop. Okay, and therefore time stop means that when I get 3 candles in this time frame, if I didn't get to my safety target in 3 candles or less, then I will consider this trade to have failed, and I will attempt an exit for whatever best price I can, ideally break even or small profit. Maybe that's not possible. Okay, so we will just attempt to exit. So this candle on the left was the entry. The last candle on the right is the current candle, so that's 1 and 2. Okay, so when that candle concludes, we'll have another candle forming, hopefully moving up. Okay, and that actually just started forming. Okay, so we got basically until 26. Okay, so we got like a minute and a half left. Okay, 1 minute and 15 seconds left to conclude if this trade is going to work out or not. And remember, the use of time stops are optional, but certainly my priority here in the sessions is safety. Okay, and even though the price to pay to use time stops is that sometimes you may miss a trade, I am indeed using time stops during the sessions. Okay, so you will see me act on this in a little less than 1 minute, where I will be clicking the close button if I am in profit, or moving down my targets, attempting exit this trade for a break-even exit. Okay, so we got 30 seconds for that. Okay, yeah, that's not a very joyful, if you wish, moment for the trade, but certainly time stops many times make a lot of sense. We just hit the inside part of the UFO, the inner circle, so plenty of the very significant unfilled orders are being filled, and yeah, so not looking too clear. For sure, as the market opens, plenty of orders may be added, and then we may get to see a fantastic move. But again, we're gonna be, we just got there. So I'm just gonna move my exit prices. Okay, like that, right to the entry. Okay, so if this ticks up, I will be out of this trade at break even. And even though that was not my initial goal was to make a nice profit. So that's it. I'll call the trade over. Okay, here we go. Okay, so come on, euro, just give us a couple of ticks up, we'll be out. What else do we have available here? The Nasdaq again. So another look at the Nasdaq. Okay, nice. The very fat UFO is gone. That's nice to see. 66.24. So the current price is 66.24. So yeah, so unfortunately we need a green UFO at this price and we don't have it. So no trade on the Nasdaq unless a UFO forms. To save time, because everything may happen quickly in 3 minutes from now, I'm just gonna be looking into where my target would be if I was to plan a trade on the Nasdaq. Okay, and some of you know that what's above. Okay, so if I look at the monthly time frame of the Nasdaq, okay, what is above? Nothing. Okay, we are making all-time high. Okay, we are making all-time high, and therefore there is nothing. Okay, so how do we deal with this situation? Okay, let me do this. How do we deal with this situation? Well, we are just gonna enter the trade, use a safety target, and then just keep trailing stop. We cannot set a target on the Nasdaq given the fact that there is no red UFO above in the common time frame. Okay, so the euro is still doing its thing. Yeah, unfortunately didn't take us out. Yeah, the green UFO there is gone, which is what I was expecting when I saw it getting deeper into the inner circle. Some red is showing up in the reactive time frame. So this trade is not looking too promising. Okay, good news in our side. We got the average at the current price, which, as you know, could act as a catalyst, attracting a few new orders to be added. That would be new unfilled orders. Okay, and of course, the most important part of all is that we have the climate in our favor. Even though it's a bad news that the unfilled orders are gone. So we'll see what happens in the end. Yeah, there is very little that we can do now with the euro. More opportunities, not in the futures markets. In the Forex, with a 60-minute time frame, we look at the euro earlier, still flashing. I'll go back and take a look at the euro quickly before the market opens, which is going to happen in just a few seconds. So yeah, the euro still doing the same thing, still no green UFO. Okay, so guys, let's focus on the market open. Okay, that's gonna happen now in 45 seconds. So we'll just wait for the market open. Also, not only to watch the market open, but because we're gonna have a change of climate or confirmation of climate in some of the futures markets we have on the radar screen. And therefore, potentially we're gonna see some alerts, some flashing lights. And if that's the case, we will run to go ahead and look at those charts. Quick look at the Nasdaq as well, in case some UFO form. No UFO has formed. Actually, a red one has formed, and a very fat red UFO here. Okay, very large UFO. So, it's looking like the market has an initial intention to up and down. So we'll see what it's going to happen now. Here we go. So the market just opened. Okay, market just opened. We have a change of climate. By the way, if you didn't use the time stop rule, okay, I was being asked about this the other day in the sharpening session. Okay, you have a change of climate. Okay, you have a change of climate. It was blue, now is red. Okay, so what am I gonna do? Okay, change of climate means get out. Okay, so I'm just closing this trade manually by clicking close. Okay, and of course I never got my break even, which I was attempting to do, but given the fact that there is a change of climate, okay, and even though it's not confirmed, okay, this is a news that tells me get out, and I just did without even thinking, just mechanically I'm out. That's it. Okay, so good news though is that this trade lost more or less half of what we were expecting it to lose if wrong. Okay, and hopefully we'll be able to short the euro in a few minutes from now, even though now, as you can see, the climate is not confirmed with the euro, but good news, the climate is confirmed with gold. Okay, near sensible short 2 out of 5. So let's go ahead and look at gold. I'm gonna close the Nasdaq workspace. No, I'm gonna close the euro workspace. No. And I'm gonna go open gold. Okay, by the way, you guys answer this question for me in the chat box, if that's okay. Could you please confirm for me on the chat box, how many of you are curious to see what's gonna happen to the euro in the next, let's say 10 to 20 minutes, to see if the euro in the end goes up or the euro in the end goes down? How many of you are curious to know? Okay, how many of you are curious to know? Okay, also in the meantime, because we are trading commodities, I'm gonna get into the bar chart website, so that way I'll be able to confirm the expiration date for the contract. So Elaine, you're curious. Maka, you're curious. Okay, I mean, we are all curious about it, isn't it? So why am I asking you such a 3 as well? Very good. Geneva, dear. So yeah, so why am I asking you something that, you would say, well, of course I'm curious. That's obvious, right? Well, because what did I just do with that workspace? I closed it, isn't it? Did you guys notice how I closed it? And certainly I get a benefit if I close it, which is to free up a little bit of resources for my TradeStation. So that's nice. That's a nice one to have. By the way, little comment here is the Z is the letter that we're going to be using is the greatest value, 154. It's the Z. So we're going to go with the Z for gold. Okay. And we have Z. So it's good. I should have talked a little faster. This UFO was a trade right here. But anyway, let's see if we can still plan it. Okay. So the reason why I was saying is that I just closed the workspace because you gotta train yourself to fight against your curiosity, because the fact that we were right or wrong in this trade doesn't matter. This should not bias you or stop you from taking another trade tomorrow or 1 hour from now. So even though you may feel discomfort, hey, wait a minute, I want to keep it open so I see what happens, just close it. Force yourself to close it. So you train yourself to remove your curiosity from whatever trades you have taken before. Okay, the time to review your trades is after you log them, and maybe once a week, once a month, you take a look at your log and you review your trades. That's the right time to look at the trades, but not now. Okay, not now, because now you're going to be all biased because of what happened or have not happened with the euro trade when it comes to executing the other trades. So just close the workspace. Okay, get rid of it, even though you may be thinking, hey, I would like to see what's going on. Just train yourself to do the opposite. Okay, trading is counterintuitive, my friends. So anyway, so we got the gold. Okay, so it's looking like I'm late to the party here, but it's 2 out of 4. So we got 2 out of 4. So it's a good time to get short. 1468. So that's more or less the current price. Okay, and therefore I would need a red UFO which is not available at the current price in any of the time frames. There was one earlier, okay, and it's really difficult to see unless I zoom in deep, okay, but may need to disable AutoUFO, but price came to the high on this week, went all the way to this low with that week, and from there went all the way to where it is now. Okay, so this trade would not be a fantastic trade, but certainly this trade would have got you to the safety target, okay, and then it would be a little on the disappointing side, but you know, you did your plan, so it's okay. But anyway, in any case, we cannot execute this trade now because we are lacking a red UFO at current price. By the way, earlier you were asking, this was I think it was Sony, right? Yes, Sony. You were asking about how long do I need to wait for a UFO to form? It could be any time. So let's keep watching these because the climate is still confirmed and everything is still confirmed. And you know, anytime a red UFO may show up. Okay, so more opportunities. Okay, on the futures, that's basically it. We are looking at the gold trade, and every other one of the futures contracts, okay, are 1.44, 1.98 away from the average. So it's far. The only one that is close, 0.33 and 0.32 are those two, but that one is not confirmed and that one is hopeful. So therefore, yeah, we just need to keep waiting on the futures markets and see if in the end a red UFO will form here, or 9 minutes from now we'll have a change of climate and new flashing lights, golden color flashing lights. Okay, now in the forex markets we do have a new opportunity, which is the euro Japanese yen 60-minute time frame. That one was not there before, so let's go take a look and see if the euro Japanese yen does provide in the 60-minute time frame a setup that qualifies as valid, meaning meeting all our rules, and therefore we can execute the trade. Okay, so yes, so we have one thick dot into a new climate, average 108.70, okay, 108.70, and unfortunately this is 78 and this is 75. Okay, so quite close but not there, so we're gonna pass. What else do we have? Also on the 4-hour time frame, the same US dollar Japanese yen is also providing an opportunity. So let's take a look on the 4-hour time frame, because maybe the 4-hour time frame will provide us with what we need. So US dollar Japanese yen, okay, loading auto climate. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay, so I'll just wait. I'll check the gold in the meantime to see. No red lining up with the average. Price is actually above the average now. So if gold continues like that, with, you know, so many green UFOs that are showing up all over the place, okay, right below current price, you know, we are likely going to see a blue climate in a few minutes from now. Okay, but anyway, yes, so it loaded now. So what do we have with the US dollar yen? We have a proper climate. The value for the average is 108.69. In this time frame, we don't have the right value, it's 81. In that time frame we got 73, which is not 69. It's 4 pips away. It's very little. Let me see. Let me do one thing here. Let me do one thing very quick. So indicator last value. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to remove the countdown because it's covering the price, and I just wanted to see the price more clearly. So 69 to 73. Yeah, it's really borderline, because, you know, when the US dollar yen goes up, what's very likely to happen is that the average will go up by a little bit, and it's gonna be so close to that 73, you know, that maybe we have a trade. Okay, but at the same time, yeah, it's not there, and I'm not gonna force it. Okay, so how long we got until this bar closes? You still got 3 hours and 20 minutes to go. Okay, yeah, I mean, if the yen keeps falling a little bit and it closes, okay, so that average will fall a little bit, and that's making it to be further away from 108.73. But at the same time, we may have new UFOs that form here or here, and next thing you know, now, you know, around 170 or something like that, you'll be able to take a trade, but not yet. Okay, so we just need to be patient and wait. Okay, yeah, pretty strong push here with a crude oil. Yeah, futures, nothing else flashing. Okay, so okay, let's continue with the forex. So with the 4-hour time frame setup, the US dollar Swiss franc also seems to be giving us an opportunity. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the US dollar Swiss franc in the 4-hour time frame setup. Yeah, that was the US dollar Japanese yen. You're correct, Maka. I looked at the US dollar Japanese yen both in the 60-minute time frame, also the 240-minute time frame, both of the time frames. And now I am going for US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, and it's looking like something is a little slow on my end today because it's taking time to load. Auto climate, auto UFO, everything is taking a little bit of time. Maybe my internet connection, not sure. Here we go, we have it now. So we got the climate, which is defined, which is 5 out of 5. Let's call it 6. We have an average located at, the average is located at 0.9903, okay, 0.9903. And 9903 is certainly inside this zone, okay, inside this zone. And this zone goes all the way to 93, which 93 is below 99, okay? Now, I am a little concerned. Concern is too strong as a word, but you'll see what I mean. So we have overlapping UFOs starting at 98.89 all the way to 98.84, okay? And if I take my 93 and I subtract 5 pips to go to my stop, okay? So 93 minus 5 is 88, okay? Which basically is below 89, isn't it? So I would need to pair these UFOs from the range time frame. I would need to pair them with these UFO from the time frame, okay? And that would potentially increase the value. So 09 to 84, it's like 20 something pips of risk. Okay, so in the end it will all depend where do we have our target. I'm not so happy. Okay, the Swiss franc is not a super fast currency, so 20 pips of risk, it's kind of like, you know, no, it's like a little more, or somewhere around maybe a third of the daily movement on this currency. So you know, borderline with happy and unhappy about this trade. Okay, so let's take a look at where the target would be, and certainly before deciding if we're going to take this trade or not, we'll look at the cross pairs too, to see if we can find something of a higher quality, because I'm not super in love with this trade, as you can see. Okay, so I am turning on AutoUFOs to see where the target will be. And yeah, I mean, the good news though is that it seems that there is nothing red until we get to 10031. Okay, so 10031, that is quite far away. And if we were to reach there, then yes, risking how much I said, like 20 plus pips or something like that, then it's okay. So I write it down, I'll put it all on the screen, and we'll be able to have a final decision about this trade as we see it written, because right now I'm still not fully sure if this trade will be a trade valid to be taken or not. Okay, so the top here is 09. Okay, so let's put it all together. So if we were to take this trade, the final target, let's start from the top. So the final target would be located, as we just said, at 10031. later below, we would have a safety target, which we need to calculate where in a minute. The long entry, okay, will be located at 0.9909, as you saw. But remember, because it's a buy order, we need to add 2, so that would be 11. And the stop loss, okay, that one would be located below 0.9884, okay, which is the value on the right, as you can see. Okay, but remember, I need to subtract 5. Okay, so that will become 79. Okay, well, so actually it's more than I was wrong with my math. It's more than 20 pips. So we have basically 32 pips of risk. The distance from 11 to 79 is 32 pips. So if I was to take this trade, the safety target will be located 32 pips above 99.11. Okay, and that would be 43. And that would be the setup. So, you know, when you put it on paper, it makes sense because you have much more room to go until you get to the final target. And from that point of view, the trade makes sense. My concern, and therefore I'm gonna go look at other trades before I place an order on this one. My concern is that probably I'll be able to find trades where reaching my safety target is much less than 32 pips. And I would rather take those other trades, because again, if your safety target is too far out, it's not acting as a safety target any longer. It's just acting like a target where you scale out, and that's not the purpose of using that target. The purpose of using that target is to quickly remove the risk of the trade. That way you can execute multiple trades in parallel without increasing risk. And if that target is very far out, then you will not be able to execute multiple trades in parallel, okay? So that's the plan. Again, it may be okay, but we are not gonna go for it until I check other currencies, okay? Anything going on the futures? Nothing going on in the futures. Gold, what happened with gold? Gold has changed to up climate, but not confirm, okay? So not confirm, okay? And therefore, I'm just gonna close this workspace. I'm just reading your notes, guys. So you said I tricked you. Why? Because of the question I was asking before. Okay. Well, you know, sometimes the way to learn is, you know, to instead of explaining things, is asking questions. So you get to think about it. So if you get it right, you will remember forever, and if you get it wrong, you will also remember forever. So it's kind of a powerful way to think about, you know, learning or memorizing certain things. Okay. Good. So what do we have? The euro contract. We are back to the euro contract. Okay. And by the way, no emotional attachment here. Okay. No emotional attachment. We all remember what happened earlier. We don't care. We are just gonna plan a trade like nothing happened earlier. Okay. We just follow the rules. So no emotional attachment. What do we have? Valid, confirmed climate, average 110.96, which is the current price. Okay, current price. Okay, no UFOs there, but we do have a UFO right here. Okay, which funnily enough is exactly the same price where we traded earlier. But remember, no emotional attachment. Okay, so I still have my note of a target being 111.06, so that's still valid. Okay, and the UFO is there. Therefore, we're gonna go ahead and enter a trade here at the top of this UFO, which is 96. So 96, here's gonna be the trade. Buy. Okay, so buy. Stop is going to be 94. Okay, safety target is going to be 98. And the final target 11.06, we have that one. Okay, so it seems that I am in this trade. Some of you may be in this trade too. Again, very tiny risk on this one. As well, this UFO you can see is not a dark UFO, it's a lighter UFO. Alternative rules on how to execute those trades is when you see a lighter UFO, you may want to reduce your position size. Okay, those are alternative rules that some of you may consider using. I particularly like to keep it simple for myself, so a UFO is a UFO and that's it. Because I'm not relying on the UFO only, I'm relying on the climate as well and so on. So therefore, I just treat it the same way. I'm just giving you choices based on your preferences too. Talking about choices, another way to enter this trade as well is to look at the reactive time frame, okay, and not to take a trade until green is formed on that time frame. Okay, so if green forms in this time frame, then take the trade. If you don't see green, then don't take the trade. That would be a reactive way on how to enter the trade. It does imply more manual action. You have to be there and watch it, but certainly it will save you a few stop outs, while you will also from time to time miss a trade or two. Okay, so like everything in life, it has pros and cons, and certainly we are navigating in the markets, with a compass, but without a crystal ball. Okay, so every decision that we take has pros and cons, and we need to align those pros and cons with our own personalities. Okay, cool. Here we go. So what else? What else? In the futures markets, nothing. Okay. What else? In the currencies, we have the euro. The euro and the yen still flashing. Okay. So let's go take a look at the euro and the yen. So the euro was in the 60-minute time frame. Maybe now a UFO has formed. Yeah, I don't think so. Same story. And the yen in the 4-hour time frame is probably looking the same since it's the 4-hour time frame. So I am about now to switch to minors and begin looking at the minors. Still got 10 minutes for the session, so we should have time to find something. Okay, so climate. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, because everything else above is not confirmed. So Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, that's the one. Okay, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. The euro trade still there, doing its thing. Okay, similar to earlier, the UFO is gone, which means most of the unfilled orders, or all of them, have been filled, and therefore now we are relying on the potential addition of unfilled orders thanks to the average, together with the fact that the climate is in our favor. Okay, but we certainly lost a great deal of odds in our favor, given that fact. Is that making sense? So we'll see what happens in the end. But again, we are just following the rules. So that's what it is. Talking about rules, time stop. So we enter 1, 2, and 3. Wow, already 3 candles? No, that's not possible. Yeah, I didn't count it right. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now it's correct. So the current candle is the last candle for us to apply our time stop rule. Okay, which means that in 1 minute and 40 seconds, when we get to 54, sorry, in 40 seconds, when we get to 54, then I will need to attempt to exit this trade for break-even, if possible, by bringing my target to break-even +1. So if it was to bounce just a little bit and get back to the entry point, I would be stopped out. That's it. I'm out. Yeah, so no need to do the time stop. We are out of the trade, okay? So yeah, a little bit of a teaser, that euro market today, but yeah, just doing its thing. The next one we said we will be looking at is Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. So looking at it, okay, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. Sorry for my data loading slow today, not really sure why. Maybe it'd be good to have a reset of my networking devices. but I'll do that after the session, okay? So given the fact that we have very few minutes left. So what do we have here with the Canadian dollar, Swiss franc? We have an up climate, okay? Very well defined, 5 candles out of 7, so nice and healthy time for us to enter the trade. Average currently located at 74.96, being 74.96, okay, I need to move my mouse, but I would say it's going to be somewhere around here. Yes, 96 is right here. So yes, we do have a valid entry. 74.97, yeah. My problem here is that all those UFOs need to be put together for the trade to be taken, because if you look at the values, they all overlap each other, and 85 and 80, if you add 5 pips for the stop, they also overlap each other. So yeah, I'm not in love, and therefore I will not do it for the same reasons I discussed earlier with you guys, which is the fact that the purpose of a safety target is to create safety, but that one is not creating safety, isn't it? It's basically acting as a target, a normal target, because it's located a little far, okay? So gold, it's flashing, so I'm loading the gold workspace in futures to see if we can find a trade. It seems that the climate finally defined to be an up climate, and maybe we're gonna find, I think that with gold we're gonna be in the same situation. Yeah, so we have a defined climate. First of all, let's go one step at a time. So the climate is good, 1 out of 4, all of this is good. The average is 1468.7, 1468.7, it's more or less here. Okay, so that's, I would say, okay. 7 is here, so that one is not okay. And that one is not okay either. So now, in any case, I'm gonna look at what the exact value here is, okay, because I believe it will be okay for an entry. But my problem is that this being 67, okay, this overlaps with this, 67.1 is more or less here, and this overlaps with this, so my stop will need to be located all the way below 66.2, which is the bottom part of all those UFOs. So in other words, all of this is one very big, very large UFO, and these two and these two, okay, it's kind of the same, and it's very, very large. So the same comment I made for the Canadian dollar Swiss franc a minute ago applies to the gold contract, which means that our safety target would be so far that is not really helping for safety purposes, okay, it's just acting like a normal target. So again, it's not crazy to take that trade, but certainly it does not give you the benefit that it would give you if the safety target was closer, because then you can execute multiple trades in parallel, which we cannot. A new opportunity just showed up with the US dollar, Canadian dollar in the 4-hour time frame. Actually, not sure it's an opportunity. It's looking like it's on the other side of the average because it's gray color. Okay, so yeah, don't think will be valid, but we'll take a quick look. So majors, US dollar CAD. Yeah, what a slow day today, isn't it? I mean, we did have 2 trades with the euro, but even though they didn't work in the sense of moving in the direction we wanted, I'm a little kind of like low energy when looking at those trades, not because of the result they produce, but because even to get stopped out, you know, it was kind of boring to watch, you know. So I'd like to see a little bit more verve and intensity out there in the markets, so you know we can be a little more efficient with the use of our time by executing a few trades, getting to safety target, and you know getting to another trade, and you know spend you know an hour or two and make that time to be greatly productive. But today the market is giving us you know slow movements and stuff, and that's what it is, you know. So we need to be adaptable to that too. Okay. Yeah. So the US dollar CAD has a climate which is 6 out of 6. In that sense, it would be okay, but it's clearly on the other side of the average. Okay, and that is why here, when you look at it, it shows as a gray value with a brackets, with a parenthesis, which means it's on the other side of the average. Okay, so no good, and therefore that's it, because The pound Swiss franc is hopeful. The CAD Swiss franc we check already. Everything else is unconfirmed. As you can see, gray color, gray color, gray color, right? So yeah, yeah, a little bit of a slow day. So anyway, but again, you guys, depending on your schedule for your trading days, okay? Yeah, gold flashing. So I guess it's still an up, yes, flashing up. So yeah, so we have gold here. So yeah, nothing new, 68.9, 68.9. Yeah, basically no UFOs at that price. So yeah, nothing has changed for gold for now. So, and the euro is flashing again. So probably, what was it, a change of climate maybe? Yeah, change of climate, but it's not confirmed, okay? So a teaser, okay? The euro today is a teaser. It's going from non-confirmed to confirmed to non-confirmed. And that's what happens, okay? That's what happens. And this is why we have time stops and rules based on change of climate to try to avoid this type of price action, which is the most problematic price action to trade, even though, of course, there are not magic tools or magic rules, and therefore today they ended up giving us a loss and a half. One was a full loss, the other one was kind of like half. So that's what it is, okay? But again, I was going to say that just keep going, guys. We're going to conclude the session now, but you guys keep going if your schedule allows for, because obviously markets change in an instant, okay? And it's not the first time that we concluded the session. And by the way, I don't know why, but these almost always happen when it's Tuesday. And again, maybe I'm overthinking here, and you guys tell me if you have observed the same as me, but I'm just thinking that, you know, it's been a few times where I made similar comments about the market really not giving us much to trade. And it happened to be when we've done a session on Tuesday. So not sure if it has to do with Tuesday, or maybe it's just, you know, some bias in my memory, which could be too. But yeah, again, the session is over now, but markets change in an instant. Next thing you know, 20 minutes from now, you may have to be running because you have 3 trades lining up that you need to take in parallel, and they will all be profitable. So we never know. And the job of a trader is just to be ready to execute those rules and enter the trades with probability on your end while you manage the risk. And that's it, okay? So, yeah. Oh, Mark, you're very funny. That's because I'm watching. That is very, very funny. Anyway, so guys, yeah, thanks for joining me today. Pleasure to be your guide in today's session. Again, missing a little more action, but that's what the market gives us today. So more tomorrow. Tomorrow we are getting back again. It's going to be options. It's going to be our session for longer term trading. Looking forward to see you again, guys. And looking forward to have a little greater set of opportunities that we can execute, okay? By the way, exciting next week too. In case you're not aware, we are conducting a special class next week. We'll be getting together 3 hours a day from Monday to Friday to run a Forex class starting from zero. Okay, so I know some of you here are quite advanced, and starting from zero will be a good review, but certainly there are things that you will already know that are part of that class too. But having said all of that, it'll be a fun time, 3 hours together each day from Monday to Friday. Reviewing very important trading tools, concepts, certainly the method, the tools, and learning from it all together 3 hours a day. That should make a difference, and I'm excited for that, okay? If you're interested in being part of it, I know some of you are going to be there. So if you didn't know about it, or you're interested in being there, shoot an email to reach@tradewithufos.com, and we'll send you more information about the content of the class, so you can have a final confirmation if you think the class can help you or not. Again, here in the YouTube channel, we're doing a lot of things. You have flowcharts, you have a lot of things that are part of the process, and probably there is a collection of you that may not need that class, okay? But at the same time, the class is out there. So if you want to be part of it from a review point of view, or you want to be part of it just because Forex is something you never got to learn properly and you want to learn more about Forex, so we'll be there, okay? So remember to shoot an email to us and we'll give you more info. Anyway, super pleasure, guys. Everyone, you take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye, my friends. Bye bye.